second look already this year of a promising prospect as the 2-0 18-year-old Erickson Lubin will face Roberto Acevedo. And there is young Mr. Lubin, 18 years old, from Orlando, Florida, 6 foot, right at 147 pounds. He is 2-0 with a couple of first-round knockouts to start his career. He was the thought to be top gold medal hopeful for the U.S. if he had stayed in the amateurs for 2016's Olympics, but he turned pro this past November. And he's up against Roberto Acevedo, a record of 13, 12, and 3 at 26 years old. He's been knocked out 5 times, all of them since 2009. And he hasn't fought in 16 months. So take that as you may, as Lubin and Acevedo get ready to go at it with David Smith as your referee.
Okay, gentlemen, you both understand the rules that went over in the back. I expect a clean, fair fight. After we touch them up, we're going to step back and do this. Let's go.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you for Friday Night Fights from Chicago. Good evening, Teddy.
Good evening, Joe. How'd you like that Super Bowl?
I think it may look much the same as this first fight.
A blowout.
All right, are you ready?
See, I set you up pretty good there, didn't I?
Well, that was easy. That was T-ball right there.
Yeah, that was a softball. Well, Acevedo won 4 in a row. That's the good news. The bad news was before that he had lost 8 in a row and 5 by knockout. Wow. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why the young Lubin, who's only 18 years old and was a tremendous amateur, I'm sure that's why his people chose Acevedo for national TV.
18-year-old flicking off that southpaw jab. Now he comes with a straight left.
A lot of people right away behind the head, the referee says, don't do that. You have 2 southpaws here, 2 lefties. You don't see that all the time. So the advantage, one to the other, is negated a little bit. And talk about advantage, a lot of people say, well, Teddy, doesn't Acevedo have a big pro advantage with experience?
Both you guys, watch ahead. Both of you guys. Keep it clean.
Let's go. The head there by the referee. Well, only 2 pro fights, obviously, for Lubin. But 128 amateur fights, that makes up for lack of experience in the pros. And also, I look at it a little differently, Joe. You know, you fight an opponent in Acevedo with, 28 pro fights, but almost half of those are losses. So to me, it's a negative experience versus a positive experience. So I guess if the question ever came, well, the riddle was ever, you know, if we went Batman movie and the riddle was, riddle this, when is experience not an advantage? Well, when the more experienced guy is 13, 12, and 3, fighting a 2-0, 18-year-old who was a tremendous amateur.
And in 12 of those losses, he was stopped. There was a short right hook that came in from Lubin in that exchange.
Azevedo knocked out 5 times. And a much smaller man. He's got a lot of problems tonight.
Judges, 1 point.
Now he's got another problem.
Point
Judges,
deduction
1 point.
here.
Hold it.
With 55 seconds remaining in round 1 with
Don't
the
hold.
excessive
Don't put your head down.
Well, that's not the first time Acevedo has been in this position down this road. He's been disqualified 3 times. And the last one, you know what it was for? You got it. Excessive holding.
That was February of 2010. He was trying to line up that left hand.
Work out.
The problem is when you serve someone on a silver platter like the promoters served Acevedo, for Lubin to shine and get a knockout, sometimes you get over-anxious. Right now, Lubin a little over-anxious. Swinging for that home run too much.
Well, he's expected to deliver as he has in his first 2 pro bouts, and we will check in with a guy who always delivers for us, Friday Night Fight Studio, and Todd Grisham. Good evening, Todd.
Good evening, Joe. And as you know, it has become the most annoying question in all of sports. Will Floyd Mayweather ever fight Manny Pacquiao? According to Top Rank's Bob Arum, the answer is a resounding no. And you'll never believe who Arum compares Mayweather to. Do not miss it coming up. Trust me on that one. Manny Pacquiao already has a major fight on his plate as he squares off against Timothy Bradley in a rematch from their highly controversial first encounter. I caught up with both fighters in New York City yesterday, both full of confidence as they get set for their April 12th showdown. You'll hear from them straight ahead. Make sure to be a part of the program. You can reach out to me on Twitter at Grisham ESPN, as well as our Friday Night Fights contributor, longtime Ring Magazine editor Nigel Collins. And don't forget to score tonight's fights using our Facebook app. You can find it on our Friday Night Fights Facebook page. That'll do it from here for now. Back out to Joe and Teddy for round two.
Or maybe not round two.
That is terrible, really.
Because that is it.
That's a problem when you put these young guys on. We like to see these young stars coming up, get a peek at them before they get too far in their career. But when the concession by the promoters is to put them in with guys like Acevedo, well, sometimes you get something like this. Guy quitting in his corner, and the fans get nothing.
I mean, what was really accomplished there at all?
Terrible.
I mean, even if you invested yourself a little bit as a fan in Erickson Lubin and you followed his story and you say, okay, here's the guy, could have been a gold medalist, hopeful down the road, turns pro, watched him once on TV, want to see his third go-around. What did you really see?
No, you didn't get to see anything. That's exactly right. You know, the whole idea is, as I said earlier, you want to see a future star. You know, sometimes they go to the minor league baseball games to see the next Willie Mays, the next Mickey Mantle, but those guys don't leave the field and go into the locker room before they go one inning. And that's exactly what happened here. Acevedo leaves the ring, and you get nothing.
Let me show you what happened just moments ago, and I want you to watch in the corner after the first round of Acevedo. Watch him as they're tending to his left hand. You hear the ringside doctor saying his hand's bothering him, and Acevedo saying, well, I can't go anymore. So that's that. The ref comes over, doctor counsels, hands bothering him. Can you go? Can you fight? Listen, we've broadcast many, many fights where guys have had broken hands. That same question is asked of them, and they give you a fighter's answer. That was not the case here with Acevedo.
No, not at all. And Billy, you said it well. Fighting is about overcoming. It's about fighting. It's about finding a way. Obviously, Acevedo, I'm going to guess, never intended to find a way here tonight. And once again, you have to wonder, when we put on these young stars, who we're putting them in with. And if you have to put, if the concession is to the promoter, you have to put them in with someone like Acevedo, maybe it's better we pass.
Let's go up to the ring to Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after one completed round, the red corner has advised our referee in charge, David Smith, to stop the contest due to an injured left hand. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout and still undefeated, Erickson Hammer Lubin.
So Lubin goes to 3-0. You know, his plan is to fight as much as possible. He said he wanted to put 3 fights forward in the course of the next 5 weeks. He could go and fight tomorrow if he really needed to. That's the case here, as Acevedo cannot continue after one round. Last week we had a really hard-fought fight between Jorge